Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Slatton in Osseo. Here's a look at today's top stories.
It's really disheartening. This is what things are coming to.
The social unrest that hit downtown Minneapolis Wednesday night made its way to Pixie Liquors in Brooklyn Park.
There was a boulder, probably about good 50, 60 pounds, threw it in.
Owner Donald Michaela says several people smashed the front door of his store shortly after midnight.
Moved it enough, and then they shoved some type of bar in and got the rest of the lock open.
Once they got inside, Michaela says they grabbed several $1,000s worth of merchandise.
The most they got away with was Hennessy, some cigarettes, and some Ciroc.
They also grabbed a bin of scratch-off lottery tickets.
Most people don't know the second that it's taken unlawfully, they're basically obsolete.
While this was all taking place, a Brooklyn Park police officer happened to be driving by and noticed the burglary in progress.
The officer identified that there was people in the business. He attempted to stop them. They fled in the vehicle. There was 4 adults that fled.
The vehicle headed west, and the officer used a pursuit intervention technique about 1.5 miles away to stop the car. Police then took 4 suspects into custody.
We're very confident that it was related to what occurred downtown because some of the evidence that we found in the vehicle was identified as being looted from stores downtown Minneapolis. So it was just a continued course of criminal conduct.
If you want change, do it the right way. Don't do it the stupid way.
The incident left Michaela wondering why they had to target his business.
They're using whatever excuse to cause damage, to cause dismay, to cause anarchy, and they're not taking into effect what it does to people's lives.
Michaela says he's going to beef up security on the door and buy a taser for his employees. But ultimately, he's looking at the big picture.
All it is material. It can all be replaced. As long as nobody's hurt, that's all I really care about.
Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park police say they plan to increase efforts to protect businesses over the next few days.
We can't resort to criminal conduct even if we believe we're supporting a cause and want to exercise our First Amendment. Nobody supports that more than the police department. But when we convert to allowing criminals to break into businesses or burn property, that just is not allowed here in the city of Brooklyn Park.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Hennepin County has swung into action to help residents stop wasting food. The county has created a new Stop Food Waste Challenge. The free program is entirely online. The goal is to help residents adopt new habits by creating and following a meal plan, keeping track of the food they buy, and learning how to store and process food. According to waste compensation studies, Hennepin County residents waste about 20% of their food, which county staff say has an effect on the climate.
And specifically with food, when we're landfilling food, that's generating methane. So that's another climate impact that food waste has. If it's landfilled, it's generating methane at a landfill, and that's a very potent greenhouse gas.
The Food Waste Challenge will go from September 14th through October 11th. The county will also be starting a plastic-specific challenge this winter. And they're also looking for 50 participants for the 8-month Zero Waste Challenge program. We'll have more information on our website, ccxmedia.org. Pafua Yang, CCX News.
Well, Chalkfest this year is going to take on a little bit different look than it typically does.
Surprise, surprise.
Usually we have 50 to 60 artists that come into Maple Grove from all over the world. And this year we've only got about a dozen that are going to be chalking live.
This year, like many events, Chalkfest is going virtual. This weekend, the 5th annual Chalkfest at Arbor Lakes will be conducted mainly on the Chalkfest at Arbor Lakes Facebook page. But there is a mural tour you can take on your own.
Throughout the summer, we've been having artists create more murals, and so there's a total of, I believe, 15 of them or so around Maple Grove and the Arbor Lakes areas.
Indeed there are, and there's a map of where to find them on the Chalkfest website. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt. The tour can be a fun activity, and the murals are really fantastic. Artist Tanya Youngberg expressed a great rationale on the importance of coming to check out the mural tour this weekend.
If we don't continue to find some sort of normalcy, I think that lots of people are in a way missing out on life. And so to me, it's an important thing to bring people out and show them that we still can carry on with things even during this pandemic.
With the murals, we have, I believe, 8 different artists that are featured. Some artists created more than one, and some of them were created, I believe 6 of them were created in previous years. And so then we have a bunch of new ones as well that have never been seen.
All the details and the map of the mural tour are on the Chalkfest website. I'll have links to it and the Chalkfest Facebook page on CCX Media. In Maple Grove, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Girls swimming and diving teams are getting their seasons going. Jason Malillo has more with the Wayzata Trojans.
Wayzata swimmers and divers are grateful to be in the pool and getting ready for the upcoming season.
I think everyone is extremely happy that we get at least a chance, even though the season is modified slightly and everything. It's just a great opportunity that we still get to swim with everyone because we're all from different club teams, so it's just nice to see everyone all in one place.
It's almost relieving, to be able to get back together with the team. I think every year when the fall season rolls around, all of the girls are so used to coming back to Lifetime, seeing each other, having the team dynamic. So it's been a relief, and I think everyone's super excited to be back here.
Swimming is the only indoor high school sport going this fall, and the pandemic is forcing coaches to adapt. Elizabeth Hansen says figuring out how to train and be safe has been sort of fun.
If there's one thing COVID has taught me, it's that you just have to roll with the punches and you have to think outside the box and how you're going to make it work. So we're only allowed to have 4 girls a lane, 32 in this pool, 24 in a 6-lane pool. They have to be on opposite ends. When they are not in the pool, they have to have masks on at all times. They have to be seated in the stands. They have to be wearing their masks there, and they have to be 6 feet apart.
And just like practice, meets in 2020 will be very different.
We are not allowed to have any spectators at the meets because we are indoors. And even the way the meet is going to work, in the past we've had, one team takes the odd lanes and one team takes the even lanes, so you're intermixed. And this year it's going to be 4 and 4. So even something like that is going to be different. We're not allowed to have any invites, so it'll only be dual meets this year.
A lot of the girls' training was disrupted by COVID this spring and summer, so the Trojans are pushing hard to get in shape. And although nothing is guaranteed in 2020, everyone here is aiming to be ready to compete and hoping section and state meets will be on. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jason. Unlike swimming, adapted soccer teams will not have competitions this fall. Jay Wilcox has their story.
It won't be game time for athletes in the adapted soccer programs in the area this fall due to COVID-19. As with football and volleyball, no games will be played, but a series of practice sessions will happen instead.
What was decided among the Minnesota Adapted Athletics Association and submitted to the Minnesota State High School League as a formal recommendation was that we are going to replace our competitive adapted soccer season with a fall training season very similar to the other fall high school sports, like football and volleyball. We'll be offering kids up to 8 opportunities to participate in training sessions over the course of about a 5-week window. And obviously we're going to have to be looking at all the social distancing protocols and things that we need to do to keep our athletes safe, but we're going to give them an opportunity to get out and connect with their teammates and get engaged in some physical activity that they've been missing out on since last spring.
While there was some hope of getting a partial season played, logistics of how that could safely happen made it too much to overcome.
Most of the coaches were hopeful that we could delay our season into October anyways, and then still have the opportunity to maybe play a handful of scrimmages or regular conference games from mid-October to early November. But as we moved further into the planning process and saw the hybrid models and the distance learning models that our schools were using, and really got a chance to think about some of the challenges that those different delivery models gave us, it really just came down to the fact that we just have to find a way to get the kids out there in any way we can, because playing games with other teams from around the conference was really going to be an unrealistic goal.
Keeping adapted athletes connected to their teams is definitely a goal this fall.
Maintaining that connection among the kids with the team and with one another, their friendships and things, that was a real big concern among a lot of coaches.
It'll be a different look, but adapted soccer teams will hope to keep the ball rolling in some form this season. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.